Yeah, Tony Khan said some shit at the scrum. I watched.
Cool. Yeah, you can fill me in.
It's not good. What is this?
It's just one of the mini tracks.
World?
Poisonrana.
Hello.
Hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for Poisonrana, the podcast. Hello, everyone out there. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Almost. It's 4 p.m. on the dot Eastern time on Sunday, New Year's Eve, 2023. So what better thing to do than talk about pro wrestling?
Absolutely. I couldn't think of anything else.
Nothing else
I'd rather do.
I didn't want to spend my day watching wrestling and talking about it, but there was a pay-per-view last night.
There was a pay-per-view last night. You worked last night? Did you?
No, I had like family plans around the holidays when there's a pay-per-view. But yeah, family came first this weekend. But I was able to finish watching today.
Yep.
We're going to talk about World's End.
Did you go in spoiler-free?
I did, yes.
Good. Yeah,
yes.
me too.
I
I worked last night and literally finished it about 40 minutes ago. And
yeah, it's like just don't. We're so community based, and it is your second nature is to just when you have a second, like, oh, check my phone, see what John Cena's saying or something, and it's like, oh wait, don't do that, don't put it down.
It's so habitual, isn't it, to just like open the regular apps, like flick on Twitter, flick on Instagram.
I'll tell you though,
flick on your Facebook message group.
Yeah, it's like your second.
And you're like,
But the thing is, the problem is, and I'm not specifically calling out anyone specifically, but we have friends who just assume we watch live.
Yeah.
But like, if we're watching live, there's probably a chance I invited you over to watch with us live, and if I didn't, it probably means I'm not.
Are you talking about Scorpio Sam?
I'm not. No, he has in the past. All I'm saying is when I'm watching something and a friend is not watching it with me and maybe we want to talk or text each other, message each other, I usually ask, are you watching?
Yeah.
Where some people don't do that. And not just wrestling, but I'm sure other people have that thing where it goes, oh, did you see the new Spider-Man movie? Yeah, Iron Man died. It's like, well, fuck, dude. Like, we have a few friends that do that.
You know me. I'm very anti-spoilers and all that. There's a bartender friend who works at a place you used to work at, who has like got back into wrestling recently. And he came into the bar yesterday and he was like, have you seen that Iron Claw film yet? I was like, yeah. He was like, oh, how is it? I was like, you know what? I really liked it. There's some like kind of like historical inaccuracies. And he's like, what? I'm like, I mean, they've cut out one of the brothers that
also dies.
And he's like, what? Why would they cut out a brother? I'm like, I mean, 4 deaths in the space of an hour. He's going, whoa, what are you talking about? I'm like, what? He's like, I don't know what it's about. I don't know what happens.
Oh,
I'm like,
God.
Oh, I just assumed you know how Titanic is going to end.
Yeah.
I just assumed. Sorry,
that happened with me.
So I felt a bit bad.
A friend, it was about a week or so ago. The movie wasn't even out yet for properly. And of course, you're in your friend group, people see this movie about wrestling with Zac Efron. They assume you, the wrestling guy, knows about it. At least they want to talk to you about it. And I'm at a party like 2 weeks ago and someone's like, oh man, I'm so excited about that wrestling movie. I don't watch wrestling, but like that movie, the story sounds so interesting. Like, are you going to see it? I'm like, oh yeah. He's like, oh, it looks great. Like, yeah, that they needed to make a movie about that. And I'm like, okay, you clearly know what we're talking about. Yeah. He's like, oh man, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's going to be really depressing, but I'm ready. I'm ready to watch it. Why is it going to be depressing? Well, everyone dies. Whoa, what do you mean everyone dies? You said Okay,
Yeah.
never mind.
Yeah.
So I've had that happen. I'm like, all right. Nothing ever beats when I went to the movies with a friend in high school to see Lincoln, and I go, like, shouldn't be going to no theater. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, he's gonna get shot in the back of the head. Yo, like, come on, man.
I mean, but that doesn't happen in
I know, but like, she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, there's some things you'd expect people to know. But I mean, I guess, like, if you're just, is Stone Cold Steve Austin still wrestling kind of fan, it's like you probably don't know about the Von Erichs. But...
So last night I was somewhat off my phone trying to avoid. I couldn't get the devil spoiled, right?
Yeah.
So I had to be off my phone.
I mean, that was a thing. It's like, as uninvested as I have been in this devil story, I'd have still been pissed if I flicked on my phone and saw the picture I've used for this graphic. Yeah. I'd be like, oh man, I wish I just saw that. But no, I went in completely spoiler free, and therefore kind of I haven't really seen the reaction to this show yet. So we'll get into our thoughts, and then maybe what some other people are thinking. But I do want to start off kicking things off. We had to wait till the end of this pay-per-view to put out our shortlist for best match of the year. We've got a quick turnover this year because this time next week, we're going to be doing part 1 of Best Match Ever 2023. This year, we're going to give out the first part for free, going through the matches that place 10 to 6. And then we'll be putting on our Patreon the matches 5 to 1. So I'm going to be posting that full list of matches up on the Facebook group.
Yes, search Poisonrana in Facebook. Even if you don't use it, find the group somehow, some way. Follow us on the Twitter socials as well, Instagram. Let us know, message in, but we will be asking for your votes of the top 10 matches of 2023.
So the way it works is we've got 30 matches from the year that, according to kind of cage match, Meltzer ratings, general opinion, mostly AEW, WWE, they're kind of the promotions we've been focusing on this year. And we want you to send in your top 5 from that list in order. Any votes, every year there's someone who puts in something that's not on the list. It won't be counted. So put your top 5 from the list, and then we do some BD mathematics, including our votes, to decide on our top 10.
Yeah, so we have a week because next week we will be going live, like you said. We'll be doing our 10 to 6, the 5 of the matches we'll go through. We'll also chat about whatever's going on. But that'll be a free show live here on YouTube as well. Audio out after we finish up the live. But we'll chat about the best of the year and best matches. But the part 2, which is 5 to 1, will happen on our Patreon in the next week or so as well. So yeah, get your votes in. This year is going to be tough. There was some great wrestling this year. There was a lot of bad wrestling, but man, there was so much good wrestling. Bell to bell, like, I mean, off the top of my head, there's a few matches that instantly, like, I'm thinking of, right? So I know people have already put out their lists. How unprofessional. There was still a pay-per-view last night.
Right?
Maybe they just knew nothing from this show will make it to that list, because it definitely didn't for me. But the year is now like done with wrestling. It starts off. We have Wrestle Kingdom this week as well. Like the wrestling just never stops.
I'm sure there's probably like some Stardom show tonight or something. But sorry, girls, it's too late. Yeah, voting's open. So
we will be looking at the best, and it's such a fun show for us. We love nerding out about wrestling. If you know our Best Match Ever podcast, we do on our Patreon. We've done a bunch of free ones as well. We've done Bray Wyatt this past year, Rip. We've done a Terry Funk in the past. We just did Best Match Ever CM Punk in WWE. We looked at the best of his matches and promos and career highlights of Punk in the WWE. So that just launched on our Patreon just a few days ago. So go check that out over the holidays if you need something to listen to. But we love doing this. And at the end of the year, we get to dissect the best stuff. And we happened to be at a lot of the big wrestling shows this year. A lot of the shows that will end up on people's lists and matches we were lucky enough to be at. So
I actually prefer doing this in January. Because, like, as we said, the year is officially over. Yeah. B, I'm poor and I'm not going to go out at all. So staying in and rewatching some wrestling sounds great.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, we should in the future, just do it like the Oscars, do like February to February or something like that.
Yeah, true.
It's always difficult this time of year. Like you do all these extra bonus shows and things, and it's the busiest time of the year with the holidays and stuff. But,
so we're looking forward to doing it. Next week, also, we will be joining the post wrestling superstars waiting. John Pollock for the best and worst of 2023 show. Yes, we've been invited back, and we will be going to the post office live in person.
They haven't sent us the list yet.
No, I have no idea what the list is. I've somewhat texted like, hey, what's the thing? I don't think we've gotten it. So I haven't made my
I feel
list
everyone this year is like, it's the end of the year, like so much going on.
So send us your lists. Let us know so I can steal your ideas and put them on. Because it's hard to think of bad stuff until you remember it. So I need always a refresher.
The first half of the year feels so long ago.
Yeah.
But there's definitely been some good. There's definitely been some stinky stuff this year as well.
Yeah. So looking forward to that. So we got a lot of best and worst of podcasts dropping in the next little while. Of course, follow the socials for everything that we do to keep updated of all the shows that we'll be doing, because can't wait to talk all about it. Can't wait to see John and Way again. Doing a show with them is always fun, but in person. And what was the big shocker when we last chatted to John and Way over Zoom or something? It was Pollock who was like, so after the show, you guys want to get a drink?
Yeah.
Whoa. Look at that. He's got 2 kids, and now he's like, I need out.
I'm trying dry January, but I will make an exception if Joe Poe is like bringing out the J.R. Ewing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to Dallas next Sunday.
Also, we like didn't want to. We know John's a busy man. We know he's got his kids. He's got the site and the podcast. So we didn't want to like bother him this year. But now I'm hearing like on shows he's done, like I was kind of expecting the boys to ask me to do Home Alone 3 this year. Wow. So we're calling you out, John. We'll get it done next year. Next year, Home Alone 3.
Yeah, I felt like Tony Khan. It's like all these wrestlers being like, yeah, I actually was like down to join AEW. You just never called me. You just never asked. It's like, oh shit, all I needed to do was ask. Okay. We just had a lot going on, and we thought give it a little breather here. So next year we'll do Home Alone 3. Christmas is in the rear view mirror now.
Yeah,
we're over Christmas now. But yeah, lots of fun doing these shows with John and Way. I can't wait to do that. Over on our Patreon, go give us a follow. It's only $5 a month. And why is all of a sudden my computer playing sounds? But we do a lot of shows. I mentioned that punk show.
Is it recording?
Yeah, it's recording.
Okay. Cool. No, you're like stationary.
Are you recording?
Are you recording?
I hope so. No, what I was gonna say is we also are going to be doing a Von Erich show, looking at the Iron Claw stuff. Would love some recommendations. I would recommend anything Pollock has put out on the Von Erichs and the Iron Claw, because he's just obviously Pollock's the GOAT when it comes to this stuff. But it's been genuinely an interesting listen, and all the stuff he's been posting on postwrestling.com has been awesome as well. So check all of that out. We got a lot of shows coming in the new year. I'm sure we're going to be looking at some Up Yours picks in the near future. We skipped over Howard the Duck, so we got to get to that.
Yeah, it just
WH is down.
I think January. Hopefully, if we can nail everyone down, we'll get our long-awaited Howard the Duck review out there.
Everyone's just waiting for us to talk about Howard the Duck. But yeah, we'll get that done as well. And we are back Tuesday night for New Year's Evil on the Post Wrestling feed right after NXT airs. We will be live. We will be chatting about it, and join us for the first show in just 2 days. In the new year. It'll be 2024.
It never stops.
We're recording this. We're going to chat a little bit about World's End, and then we have a New Year's wedding to go to.
We do, yeah.
Shout out Tay and Aiden, our friends getting married, hitched tonight. They thought, you know what? Why not do it on New Year's when everyone is usually...
no one's got anything to do.
I like this idea.
I think it's a great idea.
Because I don't want to wait in line, pay extra, do all this bullshit on New Year's.
Just party with some fun people, no dickheads there. And as they said, it's great. We have an excuse every New Year's when we're invited to something and we just don't want to go. We can go, it's our anniversary.
Yeah.
And also, they'll never forget when it is.
True. That's a good idea.
Good. Yeah. Yeah. No, looking forward to that. I had a bit of a fright the other day.
Oh, yeah.
The last wedding went to was waiting.
We were the hosts.
We were the hosts of the wedding. And it was kind of during the pandemic, like it was sort of like semi-masked, you could sit at your tables, but it was still like that era when you're moving around, you're in masks. And it was in this window of time when everything was open. During that pandemic, I'd wasn't working. So I stopped drinking for 4 months and I worked out every day and I was really skinny. I put on my suit and I was like, oh, I've changed a lot in those 2 years. It wasn't even like I could squeeze in. It was just like, no, these are like some child's pants you're trying to put on. So, and then it's the, you say, well, it does say no dress code, just come to party. I'm like, yeah, but that's like when a girlfriend says, let's not do presents this year. And you know, you still got to get them a present. Yeah. So, but I feel good. I got myself a nice new jacket, which matches some trousers I already had.
Oh, okay.
So
nice.
Yeah. Got my gold tie. I'm ready to party.
Like, it's not that hard. You know, you can get suits and stuff. Like, I feel like girls got it a little harder. They got to, like, you know, do themselves up a little bit, but guys just throw on a jacket and a tie. You're kind of set. So yeah, we're ready to party tonight for New Year's. So follow our socials.
Yes.
See us sloshed, I'm sure, but can't wait. It's in downtown Toronto. We're going to have fun.
Walkable, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So happy New Year's to everyone
happy
out
New
there.
Year.
Let us know what you're getting up to. Maybe you're spending it with us via podcast or something, and that's cool too.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was a pay-per-view last night. There is lots of news to talk about in the world of wrestling. I don't even know where we should begin here. Got to shout out my boy Killer Khan. Rest in peace. I saw the news. He passed away. I know you're not too familiar. He is on our fridge. His autograph is on our fridge there. But he passed away. And funny enough, I think John or Way used my photo with him for their post-wrestling update. But I loved meeting this guy. And I had a fantastic chat with him at his restaurant in Tokyo for like over an hour, chatting with him, and how he I said I was from Toronto, had a Blue Jays hat, and he said like he had fantastic moments coming to North America. He loved like being over here, and he's had like quite big. He was like pre-WrestleMania kind of fame, and is known for like the Andre the Giant stuff. But saw some people spreading the love of Killer Khan. So rest in peace. He also, his bar was sick. He cooked some good food. I could be wrong. He was in a Korean area of a downtown, like Koreatown in Tokyo. Could be mistaken. And I remember he was like letting me try some different foods. And then he'd be like mid-sentence, be like, hold on, and then go and pour a beer and then come back over. And like, he was just super friendly and would just answer any questions I had about wrestling. And I was like telling him, hey, I'm here for
his English is good?
Yeah, he could speak. And he was like, oh, you came from like over here to go see wrestling. And he's like, oh, now he's just, he was just running this restaurant, which I think that's where he kind of he passed out at his restaurant, which led to his death. But yeah, man, Killer Khan.
Rest in peace, Mad Kurt as well. Curtis Chapman, only 26 years old. He was pretty big on the UK indie scene. I very much enjoyed his Twitter game as well.
Yes.
Had a great Twitter. But no cause of death revealed, I believe, but incredibly sad stuff and so young. And there were some tributes on World's End, especially from like Eddie Kingston.
Yes, I noticed Eddie a lot in commentary, definitely. But wrestling, these people are always like in our lives, even like wrestling community people.
Yeah,
even it's a whole thing. So we're always there for each other, which is good. But sending all the love out to everyone there. But what other stuff we got going on? Should we talk about the pay-per-view, or should we talk about how everyone wants to talk about Chris Jericho?
Let's start with Jericho and then get into the pay-per-view.
Yeah, because this would be something that shouldn't really be talked about until kind of some dominoes fall into play, whether it was intentionally or not. And I'm not really quite sure what to make of all of it. But yeah, this Nick Hausman fella goes on a podcast, kind of compares Chris Jericho to Harvey Weinstein, which then, of course, the internet wrestling community detectives, whatever you want to call them, start to go kind of ape through all the different stuff and kind of putting pieces together from a story that was really a non-story. It was never really reported anywhere. Was never a legit story, to be fair, but people allege there was some sort of incident that happened years ago with Kylie Ray and how she had her exit from AEW. And now people are kind of assuming or putting the pieces together that Chris Jericho had something to do with that. And yeah, obviously we're the fun party guys who like to talk about wrestling, but when serious stuff comes up like this in the world of it, it kind of reminds us of how stinky this business can be.
So the Harvey Weinstein like comparison is you knowing you're in a position of power and using that potentially to your advantage, sexually or relationship wise, putting someone in a position where they may feel that their career could be tainted if they don't follow through, something like that, right? And there was some tweets going out that Kylie Rae's kind of liked. It's always been a little mysterious with how she left. I think there've always been these assumptions and rumors of some kind of affair or event or something that happened backstage for her sudden exit in the company. And ever since then, she's obviously been quite outspoken with her mental health and has kind of been signed and left other companies as well. But it's, it's all internet rumors and innuendos, smoke. But
when there's smoke, sometimes
there's sometimes fire.
Yeah,
and
for me,
I think like Jericho is one where there has been like little rumblings of this before, but never anything substantial or sticking or anything.
Yeah.
But it's a icky
area
to look into. Really,
it shouldn't even be a story that is like looked at until she tweeted this. All she tweeted was a heart emoji replying to someone on Twitter who was talking about this. What does that lead most people to believe? That there is something there. So that's why this has been like the little bit of the wildfire that spread yesterday because of this. And I'd say if she didn't tweet that there would be a lot more people and reason to be like, hey, you can't just be like throwing things out there without evidence or without that. There still is no evidence and all that. A heart emoji doesn't account for really anything. No. She still tweeted it though, replying to this, insinuating there is something there. There is something related. There is something going on or had gone on. So obviously we might get to the bottom of some story. There might be NDAs and all these things that we don't really.
Jericho hasn't signed an NDA.
Yeah, he doesn't know apparently. Yeah, so it all is like under watch here. And again, it's like become like the story that everyone loves to dogpile and jump on and accuse and all this. And obviously, if things come to light and the story does come out and stuff, like there could be something here. But as of right now, like this is kind of other people going to bat for other people, and it's always a stinky situation. But
Tony Khan didn't address it in the
press,
right?
No,
so he was asked,
and that's another thing. It's like, well, wait, if this is like some non-thing, Kylie Rae has been on record multiple times saying no one made me leave AEW. There was no issues with AEW. She has like said this on very clearly, and obviously that's something else. People are like, well, she said it herself. There was no issue, but you know how things work. But it's all like. You look at it like, man, is Jericho instantly rubs Jericho. It puts Jericho in light of like, ooh, is this wrong? And how they address it, because it's bad. Because Jericho, one of my all-time favorites, full stop. You know who else I really loved? Russell Brand. I've had a really bad year for being fans of certain people, but I'm not someone to instantly jump on someone unless there is some proof or things like that. And of course I go that direction. I've watched the Russell Brand stuff, definitely threw out my Infant Sorrow t-shirt because I'm like, don't want to wear that one anymore. However, like to jump on things without people knowing and all that stuff is also wrong and can be wrong for like a victim's case in things like maybe they didn't want things to be out. You don't know that. I think it's all like a really kind of bad situation. But the thing that gets me is Jericho had time to tweet on Christmas about whatever the fuck he was going off about, probably drunk tweeting at Christmas. I swear it was like in the middle of the night. Hasn't found time to tweet in the last little while. And I'm not saying that
It's-
that goes either way, but I know in my position of being just a human being, of being a guy, if anyone said something to me that put me in a position to accuse me of something, there's no way if I felt I was actually innocent, that I would not respond to
I
that.
think sometimes you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't in that situation as well. Remember when the Matt Riddle accusations came out and he did post a public video and everyone was going, you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
And obviously it depends on delivery, content, all of that, the message you're trying to get across. But I would imagine he's probably been advised not to. I imagine maybe he wasn't on the goose where he could have been Christmas morning. I don't know. Like it is difficult. I'm with you. Like you'd want to clear your name and get your side out there, but sometimes it might be the approach just to be quiet and let it blow over. And if there's anything more going to come of it, it will come out. If it doesn't, it blows away. We've seen so many times in wrestling in the last few years where there's way more evidence than we have against Chris Jericho. I'm talking Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
And it does just go away.
I mean, that's also a thing. People love to pick and choose which people they don't look that way in supporting people, whether it's singers, actors, wrestlers. Like there's a lot of people and friends who will be like, oh, that person's canceled to me. That person's dead to me. Oh no, I won't do that. But I love so-and-so. And it's like, well, who are you to be the judge and jury here of who, like, the whole world is. And it's being a wrestling fan. We know it's like wrestling is a gross business. And for a little while we were like, hey, maybe it's getting better. But if this is going that direction, I watched the clip of Tony Khan in the scrum wearing this hat and these glasses.
Yeah, where'd that come from?
I think it was Tony Storms. I hope it was Tony Storms.
Jesus.
But while someone's asking him a question, there's a pretty serious question about like safety and sexual harassment and stuff. He didn't name names in the question. He's answering the question seriously, wearing the glasses.
You should take the hat and the glasses off. Like, geez, can you imagine like Triple H doing that?
Exactly. It's like, what the fuck?
Like,
dude, like just get someone else to do these things at this point. You've already established you're not good at these things. CM Punk.
Yeah.
Just get someone else.
Yeah.
Get any fucking one to do these things instead.
Yeah.
If that's the case. Because he never answers questions. Never.
Or even have someone like, when like WWE do those like quarterly financial things.
Yeah.
And it's like Vince McMahon starts and then he's like, over to you, Nick.
Yeah.
And he just
exactly
he needs a Nick Khan. Like he needs someone who is, incredibly well trained in public relations and that kind of thing. And can refer, like he can sit there and chime in when he wants to, but he isn't good at it. And just the talking about something serious, like, and I think his answer was valid as well. Like he can't really comment on it until like based on just Twitter. Really, he's got to like. He's not going to throw Jericho under the bus.
Yeah.
And he also doesn't want to out and out deny it if shit is going on under his company. So I think his response was fine, but take off the fucking fur hat.
So ridiculous. So ridiculous. Yeah. It's like, man, if he knew of something and it's been time and now it's coming out, like that's definitely a bad look for Tony Khan. Yeah. Because he's one who loves to be like, look at Vince McMahon. He's a terrible human being. And then he hired Ric Flair.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's weird. It's very strange. I mean, same with people obviously jumping on the Ric Flair thing coming to AEW. What's funny is Jericho was one of the people being like, screw everyone, man. You're Ric Flair. Just come on in. And Chris Jericho was the narrator of the Dark Side of the Ring episode.
Yeah.
Will he narrate his own episode in the future?
That would be Danielson, won't it?
That was the other thing. This fucking Tony Khan's like, I don't want to answer this question. I'll get back to my disciplinary committee. Fuck off, man.
Well, Danielson's in the back putting his eye back in. Like,
God damn it. Like, I love this company, but let's be honest, it's falling apart. Like, what's going on? Like, it's just like every week there's now something else that all the people that were the like day one supporters traveling to the shows, just going to support are like, WWE's good again, and this is becoming the fun thing to hate.
Though I know it's a cliche, new year, new me,
Yeah.
but I think they've got a real opportunity with that now. You know, you've got a new world champion, and you've pretty much ended the Devil story. Now we'll be going into MJF, Adam Cole, whenever that is able to happen. Maybe someone like a Jericho could take a little break for a little bit. We can focus on the Sting retirement tour, which is doing great. Like, it's like the tickets for Revolution are crazy the way they're selling. And you can focus on like your Swerve Strickland's, who is so hot right now. I think it's a good opportunity to, the end of the year ended as a bit of a wet fart, but I think now we've got a brand new page we're starting here.
Yeah.
So they can turn it around.
I want them to. I love wrestling, full stop. I watch it. I love this show, and I want it to succeed. But I can see the criticisms and why people are turning on this company, turning on being such the fan.
I also feel, though, as soon as people don't like something, they nitpick even more.
Sure.
And they criticize things that would have been there in year one. But now it's because they're just down on the company.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
It's like every little thing.
Yeah,
it's
we're
like,
guilty of
it's
it.
dying.
Yeah.
It's like,
we're definitely guilty of it. We like to nitpick when it comes to wrestling. It's kind of our job. But we love wrestling, full stop. And it's it feels like a lot of people we came into going to these shows, talking to people, friends of the podcast, all this stuff. I'm seeing a lot of people being way more negative on it. How many of our friends in the New York area were like, I'm not even going to that show tomorrow. So it's like, wow, okay. So it looked like there was a lot of people at this pay-per-view. We're going to talk about.
They said it was sold out.
Yeah. Sold out of their roped off areas, but
about 10,000 according to Cage Match.
Yeah,
attendance, which is pretty good.
So obviously the Jericho thing is what everyone kind of wants to discuss and stuff. But I mean, at this point, it's becoming a story. Will things come to light? We'll have to see before we kind of point fingers and definitely, do that kind of thing. But obviously, it's something a lot of us wrestling fans are going to be looking at and watching and seeing if any developments come out of it, or if nothing ever comes out of it, which is maybe equally as bad. For not talking about it is also something that could be very damning, at least for me. So I hope it's not, because again, this guy was, as a kid, one of my all-time favorites. It makes me feel weird.
Now, I saw I was catching up on most of this after the pay-per-view, and I was seeing stuff. Did Ricky Starks not work at all with Jericho in this match? Because I know he was playing the staying on the apron, and Big Bill and Hobbs taking most of it. But then the images going around of him
flipping off
Jericho, and I think tagging right out. So obviously he's a heel, and that can just be a heelish thing. But a lot of people are seemingly reading into that as well.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure, but I mean, the crowd, half the crowd's still singing his theme.
Yeah,
because half these people aren't internet wrestling fans.
Good song.
It is. It is, and it's like, hey, people are there to be a wrestling fan. It's not like they're gonna know about this.
Yeah.
So you could tell certain people with the signs and the chants and the booing and stuff, but at the same time, half the audience there isn't gonna be smart fans. They're just gonna be like, oh, wrestling's in town. Let's go to that. And I mean, as much as everyone in, again, internet wrestling community and wrestling podcasts and stuff like that, that's just a small fraction of the wrestling world. If all those people don't fill arenas, it's everyone else that comes and fills in these seats. So it's a bad situation, and I hope only good things can never come out of it. But I don't know. It sucks. I knew speaking out was a big good thing that happened in wrestling, and it's kind of been a while where I'm like, hey, is wrestling okay again? No, it's still wrestling. All right.
Well, shall we get into the show itself?
Yes, let's talk about some World's End, because the world is ending. Shout out some people in the chat. Shout out Jesse Hyde, Dickie Bird, Megan, Martin. Hello. Happy New Year, everybody. Yes, let's talk about it. Should we go through from front to back here?
Let's start.
Well, we did have a 0 hour kind of thing. I didn't check it out, but Willow beat Chris Statlander, and Killswitch won the Battle Royal for the TNT title shot anytime, anywhere. And as soon as they announced that stipulation, last week, 2 weeks ago, I was like, Could tell you where that one was going.
Yeah.
Kill Switch won that.
Yes.
Is he still a dinosaur?
No, he's a Switch now, isn't he?
Because he's like gray colors. He's like Jurassic Park 3, the
Right.
Spinosaurus.
Yeah.
That's kind of what he's looking like. And then Hook defeated Wheeler Yuta. Oh man, did you see Wheeler Yuta's just his?
I didn't see anything from Zero.
I didn't watch this, but then I saw the clip of him. He's cutting a promo,
Right.
and he says like Long Island sucks or something like that,
Yeah.
and just quiet.
Oh,
Fucking poor Wheeler Yuta.
poor Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah. Blackpool Combat Club kicked off the show, though, the actual pay-per-view, with the 8-man tag team match. It's all the losers of the Continental Classic. This was the most New Japan booking ever.
Sorry, do you mind if the clip literally came up and I didn't even search, so I'm just gonna watch this Wheeler Yuta thing for the long.
Pretty quiet, yeah.
That's some polite booze.
Yeah, poor guy. So we did kick things off with all the losers from the Continental Classic. Claudio, Brian, Mark Briscoe, and Daniel Garcia taking on Brody King, Jay White, Jay Lethal, and Roosh. Man, poor Mark Briscoe. He's in a match with two guys named Jay.
Yeah.
It's got to be pretty like triggering to be like, oh, I got to tag in Jay, and then Jay is there beating me up. Yeah. Oh man. I actually really love this match.
I thought this was a great way to open it.
Yeah.
There were certainly things I liked about the Continental Classics and things I didn't like. What I did like was I felt most of the people had a story in this tournament and coming out of it. You know, there was the story of Daniel Garcia trying to shed the sports entertainer thing, trying to be a wrestler, but still being on a bit of a losing streak, and then getting that big win over Brody King. Similar with Mark Briscoe trying to, I like how they were saying, this is his rookie year as a singles wrestler, which is playing with the narrative a little bit, but I kind of liked that. It's like, okay, this is his year going out as a serious singles competitor. And obviously him getting that win over Jay Lethal being in a bit of a funk and maybe questioning the people he's been hanging around with coming out of this. And then your real contenders like Bryan Danielson giving Brody some big wins as well. I definitely, there were things I liked about it. My criticisms with the whole tournament are still the stakes of it. It should have been for something bigger. But by the end, and I thought those semi-final matches on Dynamite this week, especially Eddie Danielson, was excellent. So I thought this was good. I got that kind of Royal Rumble Survivor Series thing with this, where you're suddenly, Jay White and Danielson are in the ring together.
That was the part.
Really
They've
cool.
never touched before.
No, and I liked it for all those little teases they were doing. The storytelling going way back with Garcia and Danielson, with Danielson interrupting his entrance, and then Garcia taking the win, and sort of Daniel Garcia being a bit I think you're a bit of a prick, and Danielson maybe nodding a little, and it's you're a bit of a prick too. I thought it worked as just a really entertaining 8-man, but also developed a few little things as well.
Because a huge criticism I have of this company is you got Daniel Garcia starting to get really over last year. That was working. I mean, we went to a bunch of Dynamites where he was main evented a few. He was in a mood there. He was on a way up. And whatever they did with that storyline just completely fucked it up and dropped the ball hard. Completely became a
recast him with Sammy.
They mixed it. I don't know what the backstage, whatever happened, but all of a sudden it's Matt Menard is Jericho.
And I think they've course corrected quite well, because I think over the case, the path of this tournament, Matt Menard playing Jericho has become really good.
He's good.
He's like the dad at a football game who's just yelling at his kid all the time. And I actually find it better than if Jericho was doing it, because I think Garcia is the bigger star than Menard. So I think it's actually working.
Right.
It just, all of this should have been a year ago.
Yes.
Was it Full Gear where it's the 4-way for the ROH title? Full Gear last year that we went to. Okay. Wasn't it Jericho, Danielson, Sammy, and Claudio?
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Like, that should have been Garcia then.
Yeah.
We're talking over a year.
Yeah.
Like, the matches with Danielson, I believe, were in the summer of 2022.
That's right.
Before joining JAS and all that. Like, this should have happened a year ago, but I'm pleased now they've realized, and they do seem to be pushing him seriously, and he's now the wrestler who has the dance rather than the dancer who wrestles. You know,
it's so weird. Like, this all should have been last year. It should have been Jericho being his like manager, healing it up, and then finally him being like, you know what, I gotta join Danielson. And just the moments in this match it made me go like, oh, they're going back to this, which they should, and the crowd reacted to it. So like, pretend all that other shit never happened and just go into Garcia joins them. And
I don't know if I want to see him join them. I think at this point...
He's already wrestled them.
At this point, he should be, I want to prove myself on my own. And I don't mind Matt Menard as like a corner man, but I don't think a faction is necessarily what he needs right now. Because
like them, giving the looks, like they could wrestle again. Really love whenever they tangle as well. But like, I think he's definitely in the face run, and like should be in all the spots that Sammy was in the last year. It just, something clearly happened where they dropped something. And I don't know what it was, but they really fucked it up. And his like popularity is still going up, and he could be a main like character in this show. And he was already getting to that way, and then they just pulled it back. So I'd say one of the highlights of the show were like literally the end of this match when Garcia wins and Danielson keeps like looking over at him like, So there's something there, and they had my attention because I genuinely think Garcia is awesome.
He's tremendous.
So I can't wait to see them use him properly. And if this is a kind of a little bit of a reset, I'm totally in. But yeah, this New Japan losers of a tournament style match actually really got me going. I know this pay-per-view like didn't necessarily hit like most of AEW's shows for me. It felt like a bit of a super Dynamite, a bit of a super Collision, if you will. But I thought this was still a fun opener.
It was a good way to open the show.
So Garcia wins that one. We'll see what happens going forward. Our next match,
winning Jay Lethal as well. So continuing Jay Lethal, kind of,
he's got the heat,
being the fuck up.
Where's Jeff Jarrett and Satnam and all them? We had WWE SmackDown Miro. Andrade El Idolo. Thank God he's going to change his name again because I still can't pronounce it properly. Kevin Kelly's like, is he even in the fucking thing? Is Kevin Kelly even still in AEW?
He wasn't there tonight.
Yeah. Miro beat Andrade in a WWE singles match with Lana ringside. You know what? I was actually excited to see these two tangle up. I didn't think their match was that exciting, but something for me that I dread is Lana. CJ in WWE did not like whatever she was doing with the whole Bobby Lashley, Miro, whatever stuff. And here I was like, whatever. The storyline you could see a mile away coming that this was the outcome of whatever. But like, it just makes Andrade look stupid. But it seems like he's gone anyway. So
is that so? His contract?
Yeah, it sounds like he's going to be showing up in the LWO real quickly as soon as like the Rumble, So. Right. Triple H is like, come over here. I got you. You're my guy. I'll help you out here. So it looks like that way, especially losing here. But CJ Park, sorry, what's their name? No, that's someone else.
CJ Perry.
CJ Perry yelling middle of the match. Is this what you wanted? Look what you did to my finger. I was like, get the fuck out of here. This is so stupid.
I'm hot and cold on Lana, like CJ. I think she has been really good at times. I think the initial run with Rusev was like good
back in the day.
Like, I think she is very confident on the mic. It's material. Like, I don't think this has been the best material for her. And as you said, it was very clear where it's going. I really didn't like the beginning of this match. The first half was very dull, I thought, and the crowd were just like sitting on their hands. There was even at one point like Miro like locked in a side headlock as Raw rolls on, But it did pick up later in the match, and like I did think it picked up a bit. I just think like I feel both have been damaged in this company by the stop and start stuff, and I think we all saw their potential in WWE, and were hoping when they'd come to AEW that they'd be pushed a lot heavier than they were. Miro, like they started with that whole Kip Sabian bullshit. And whenever he locks in game over, I'm like, oh yeah, fuck you with a gamer.
Oh yeah.
But then I thought they did really well with his TNT title run. And then he disappeared and he comes back for one pay-per-view a year, it seems, since then. Like, he was someone I think mainly during Hangman's reign should have had a world title, like, shot. You know, a story. I think, like, the Big Miro against Hangman would have been pretty good. But it's this weird, we want to protect you, so you're not going to work.
Yeah.
And therefore, like, after a couple of years of that, you're just not invested in these
You're not
two.
interested anymore.
So you're watching this match and you go, I don't really, whoever wins, cool, but I see them being off TV again for a few months and either appearing elsewhere or just, oh yeah, we've got to dust off Miro again for a pay-per-view. So this was on the lower point for me.
Yeah, like I love Miro, but everything you just said is totally true. It's like ever since they brought him in here, he's just kind of been not used properly and just kind of chilling. And he's like kind of been somewhat vocal about it as well. Same with Andrade, so much that he's gone. So
okay, Dickie's saying that TK confirmed in the presser that Andrade's gone.
Yeah, he's going home.
Yeah.
LWO. I mean, look at the stuff going on with that whole storyline. Rey Mysterio's coming back from injury for WrestleMania time. Like, so, bro, it's gonna be good.
But what side will he be on? Will he be on LWO?
That's
Will he
exactly
be
it. You don't know.
Legado.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm definitely intrigued. Like we're big fans of him out there. Never forget Almas, Gargano, and Chill.
You know what? I love his back elbow he does.
Yeah.
And I loved how he did it here where he like faked out with the big boot and then just clobbered him in the air. It was nice. He's a fantastic wrestler.
I can't wait to see him and Santos and Ray and all these guys. Like, yeah, they're gonna and then fucking book that big pay-per-view in Mexico.
So if you have you've got Ray, Carlito, Joaquin, Raul, and Zelina, right?
Zelina and Andrade have to be back together.
Well, okay, but then so maybe Zelina joins Santos and you get Santos, Andrade, Zelina, Garza, and Humberto.
Okay.
And maybe Ray can get Elektra Lopez.
I
don't know. Like if you want a 5-on-5, like 5-on-5 with them.
I don't think Zelina be wrestling.
2 singles and a woman. No, she doesn't have to wrestle, but like
we'll see.
To like balance it.
Or maybe he's just chilling. Like there was Charlotte was just at one of his matches in.
She's going to be chilling for a while, isn't she?
Oh right, she's injured. Yeah, I see him going back to the Fed. The whole Rey Mysterio LWO stuff. Like, yeah, he fits in perfectly. They were kind of doing that storyline with
before Vince decided not to.
Yeah, so it's like, hey, go for it. Yeah, I'm excited to see him back because I'd say his AEW run wasn't really a hit.
No, some good matches, but it was never anything, no meaningful story or anything. Like he had some good matches in this tournament. Obviously the Cody on fire match probably sticks out. His Darby feud, the coffin match, that was pretty good. But it was so few and far between. Mainly because, he didn't like Sammy Guevara, so he'd be on the other show. Isn't that it? It's like, oh, Sammy's injured. I will do my first match on Dynamite in 2 years.
It's just weird. Like this guy, somewhat of a big star coming from Mexico, especially years ago, became even bigger, I guess, with the help of WWE, NXT, and everything. And then here, it just felt like another guy. And then like you have all these other like huge luchadors. Like they never promoted like, big pay-per-view match, Penta, Andrade, any like they just never really capitalize, and it goes back to he's a star, so he can't lose, kind of thing. As I don't know, I'm happy. I'd be much happier to see him back in WWE at this point because I think he'll have a way better run.
Yeah. I mean, they fumbled him as well. Look, they had him with Vicky, then they had him with Chavo.
Oh my god, yeah.
Then they Jose. Like
Jose.
It was
what's Jose gonna do? Just walk around without a shirt?
Yeah.
Without Andrade?
I guess so.
Wow.
Oh, no. Is he with Roosh and the lads?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, true. Yeah, we're going to see Andrade facing Dragon Lee in WWE, and Roosh is just on the other show. Like, fuck. Fucked up, man. So, Andrade, pour one out.
Pour one out.
We always pour one out when someone leaves a company, and that's...
I am behind on the news, guys, but pulling out Kevin Dunn as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We'll talk about that a little bit.
Good stuff.
They cut him. Isn't he the one who always does
all
the cuts? What else happened on this show? Timeless Toni Storm putting her title on the line against Riho. I kind of actually got into this a little bit. Not one of the better matches on the show, but still, I'm enjoying Toni Storm. But someone out there's job has got to be to know when to do that, like zoom in black and white thing, because I don't think they've ever hit it.
No.
Not once. So Toni and the producer of the match, in your next match, what you do is you go, okay, when I give you a signal, that's when you do it. Instead of just doing it, and then they go, okay, do it now, and she's already moved on.
And maybe
to doing
have it as one point in the match.
Don't do it all the time.
Have it like the Rainmaker pose.
Yeah.
You know, you hit a power slam and you stand and then you do
it before the butt attack.
Pose.
Do it before the butt attack. So when you have the girl in the corner down in the thing and she's waiting to get hit in the face by her butt, that's when the producer goes, okay, now she's going to do the thing. Because every time she does the pose, they then hit the black and white and the zoom effect thing, but she's already moved away from like the thing. So this match, and then like last week, and I swear the week before, they tried it as well. I was like, can you not like I know I work in TV, I'm not a cameraman or producer or anything, but like it's you keep missing it. You keep missing it. So like maybe try something else if it doesn't hit.
Yeah, I thought this was okay.
Yeah.
It felt kind of like a Dynamite match. I like Riho, and
me too.
But again, she's someone who disappears forever and then comes back
and then waves.
The main story is, she was the first one to win the title. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
The Toni stuff is a little too far for me. But I mean, I appreciate that she completely stands out against the rest of the division. You know, she does feel like one of the stars there, and people seem to like it. It's a little too goofy for me, but the match was fine. No real stakes. I don't think anyone really bought Riho winning this thing.
I didn't even know why she had the title shot to begin with, but
she ran out, I think.
She came out and waved.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh shit, she's been champ before. Yeah. I like Riho, but yeah, I was like, yeah, whatever. Swerve Strickland facing Keith Lee. Okay, I watched not live, right?
Right.
So think about it. Saturday, all day, I was busy. My family, doing family stuff, eating some banh mi, and then I watched pay-per-view today. Out comes Goldust.
Yeah.
What went through your head when did you know that?
I knew he was replaced.
I was like, what the fuck's going on right now? So, okay. How do I put this? Goldust, he's looking great. Dustin dyed his hair blonde like Cody, looking good, in great shape. That's glad to see he's still wrestling, not knocking that. It's a pay-per-view. First of all, why was the Keith Lee match even the fucking match? Swerve is the hottest character going right now on your show, and you booked him on a pay-per-view to fight Goldust.
Okay, I'm going to argue with that. Swerve's been in this tournament. He made it right to the...
He lost.
Well, he made it to the...
Did he win?
He made it to the semifinals and he wasn't pinned, you know? Yeah. So he had one of the best showings in the tournament. Yeah. He's one of the hottest acts right now.
He is.
You'd be disappointed if you went to this pay-per-view and he wasn't on it because Keith Lee's out. And I think putting him in, just making that 8-man a 10-man, he'd have felt like not as big a star either. So I think you wanted him in a singles match. And I think the Keith Lee thing hasn't ever been paid off. So to like hot shot a match and just quickly, like, I didn't mind it. Again, like this Keith Lee match should have happened ages ago.
2 years ago, I think.
Yeah, but I think I kind of was like, okay, you know what? That gets Swerve on the pay-per-view, has a match with a story that's already ready. I thought Keith Lee's promo on Collision kind of like set it up quite well. It's like kind of, oh, you've been ducking me all this time. You've done all this shitty stuff and then you keep going on the other show or being in a tournament or stuff like that. So I thought they did it all right. So I think they actually made the best of a bad situation here. And I like Dustin Rhodes. He looked good.
I don't think they made the best of a bad decision. I think, okay, what you said is true. If they had nothing else for Swerve, like, yeah, the Keith Lee match, okay, they never did it before. I was totally okay with that. But then to be like, oh, actually, I'm injured, I can't do this match, I think is the reason why, right?
Yeah,
he was injured,
or sick or something.
Yeah, and I feel like that's been his MO since wrestling. in this company. So like, I'm done with the old wizard dude now. I'm done with it.
No, I'm over Keith Lee.
Yeah, I'm so over him, man.
It's and it's unfortunate because it could be health issues and things.
So,
but like it's going back to Andrade and Miro and Daniel Garcia's story and all that. It's the hot and cold nature of it. But I think out of everyone, like Dustin kind of made sense because he is the tag partner,
okay,
and then Swerve was just super evil, beating the shit out of him.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I quite enjoyed.
Like, it's a pay-per-view. Like, I wouldn't even watch this match on Collision. Like, I would skip it. And you know what? I skimmed through it today. I had no interest. I saw him use the cinder block, and I was like, okay, I guess he's injured Goldust. And then it's like, nah, he's actually still gonna wrestle. I'm like, but that's how you took out Keith Lee. So like, wouldn't he be as injured as
Dustin's been around, like he's
a natural. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm devil advocate.
No,
I thought this was bad.
I'm in the middle. Like, this should have been something on a Dynamite, and like, I thought the beatdown angle was good. I think it makes sense. It heightens the feud for when you do go, hopefully soon, to the Keith Lee match. But I do also feel like people wanted to see Swerve live.
You wanted to see him,
They want to do the Nana dance and all that.
I wouldn't have like fulfilled my, I got to see Swerve. Yeah, but who did he face? Goldust. Like, I'd be as mad as anything. I think he's the hottest character. They should have come up with something a bit better than this whole storyline to begin with. They wouldn't have been in that problem if they had like.
But why? What else could they like? Yeah. Unless you didn't have him in the tournament to start with, and you were building a different program, what else would you have done in the space of 3 days?
Like
right, what it is.
He's a heel, but he's like the really cool heel right now. And if it was Jay White who was pinned, Swerve's instant gripe could be like, you know what? Fuck you. You were pinned. Face me at the pay-per-view. Yeah. Whatever.
Okay.
Literally anything. And the crowd would have walked out with seeing a proper match. I'm just bashing on Goldust, but like, I'm sorry. It's
you also somewhat want to. You don't want to beat Jay White like a drum either, and it's like it. Yeah.
There was like so many things that
if you were trying to trim down this pay-per-view, I'd have absolutely taken this out. But I do kind of get it as well.
I again, like, I'm like,
fuck it. Dustin's on his retirement tour. He should be on the pay-per-view.
When's his contract?
He pulled out a Canadian Destroyer. It was great.
When's his contract up? He's got
unless he signed an extension. It must be. I mean, he's a day oneer, isn't he?
Like Cody, Sean Spears, Dustin, the factory, the Nightmare Factory is back.
Yeah, I'd love to see Dustin back.
You know he's going back
just for that Cody moment.
Cody's texting him, "Don't worry, I'm getting you back."
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sorry.
Punch someone backstage, Dustin.
No,
choke out Sammy Guevara or something.
Yeah, fight someone. Yeah. I just I'm being devil's advocate, but like, Goldust on a pay-per-view in 2023, I literally did not have time for that, and I skipped through it. So I'm sorry, but Swerve is the hottest act because then he beats him. He beats a guy he just beat up with a cinder block, which is a heel move, and people are just screaming, cheering for him, chanting "Next world champ." It's like, okay, what's going on here? So turn him babyface, but then as soon as you turn someone babyface, we don't like him.
He'd lose his coolness.
Yeah, exactly. Look at MJF.
But I think AEW just plays in this area quite a lot. You know, like. And I see a lot of people see it as a negative. I don't really mind it. People some people love the same sports team that others absolutely despise, So I don't mind that. BCC always plays in that gray area, and I know some people really like defined heels and defined baby faces, but I think it works for some.
Yeah. The next match, La Sex Gods, Jericho, Sammy, Sting, and
La Sex Pests.
Yeah. Taking on Ricky Starks, Big Bill, and Takeshita's in a match.
Who?
Yeah, and Powerhouse Hobbs. So Sting's on his retirement tour. Like, I thought in a weird way they were somewhat going to try to pivot to like Jericho Sting. I don't think that's the direction anymore. This match was all right. It had some cool stuff. You kind of mentioned earlier Ricky Starks and Jericho not like really interacting with each other. But I thought Takeshita is such a good wrestler, and I feel like they've totally fumbled him in the last few months as well. This guy beat Kenny like twice, technically, on pay-per-view, and then wasn't even in the tournament to crown champion or something.
I hate the Don Callis family.
Yeah, it's over now.
I think Callis is a great heel, but he's somewhat got that. Maybe it's whatever's in the water in Winnipeg. He's somewhat got that Jericho thing, which kind of makes him the focus,
Yeah.
and it doesn't really elevate the others around. Like a lot of people had forgotten Sammy Guevara was even in this thing. Will Ospreay's in it, but there's no mention of him being in it. It's
he won't join it when he comes.
No, Hobbs, who we keep on wanting to have like break. How many times has Hobbs broken out on his own? Team Taz. I'm breaking out on my own. I'm joining
TMZ.
I'm now joining this. I'm not really into them as an act, and I thought the segment on Dynamite this week where Sammy kind of turns against them, like it was kind of bullshit. And even him, he was like, "And you've pinned Omega twice, and you've done stuff as well." Like, and Kyle Fletcher's like, "What about me?"
I mean, he's like a champion now or something, right? He's a TV title. Champion. Is that even a real title? I don't know. Look, you're right. Like, I love Don Callis and what he can do for like being a heel and stuff, but like I think it was Rampage or something. I saw the clip where finally Takeshita and Hobbs were the ones talking, and I'm like, it should just be that. Don should come in, set him up, say some outlandish shit, and then Takeshita talks. That's it. Like Takeshita has to be cutting promos. I know, obviously, English, second language, and all that, but he sounded good in the past. Hobbs can also talk,
but I don't even think Takeshita needs to talk. I think it started off fine with Don Callis being his mouthpiece and then him being a killer, but then he disappeared into Rampage verse. You know, like
it's just not the like. I think of the first time Takeshita came out with Callis wearing the leather jacket. I was like, whoa, this guy looks like he's coming out of like a video game, like an evil badass dude. And instead, it's been about like, and here's this painting of us shirtless. It's like, yeah, it's funny for a second, but like. Not how I envisioned this from the start of this storyline. How I envisioned it is Callis being like, this kid hasn't been doing anything. He works with me. He beats Omega twice. He works with me. I get him put into this tournament. He works with me. He'll be champion by like, that's all you need to do. And it would be like so more interesting. Instead, hey, here's a picture of us shirtless. It's funny, right? It's like, oh, all right. So I just feel like they also have fumbled thing, and it's a reoccurring thing, and we're just bashing AEW. It's like, oh, they fumbled this guy. Well, actually, you know what? They fumbled this guy. They also fumbled this whole team.
There's no like, you know, like the Charlie Day board of like everything. You kind of need that, I think. Like, I think, it's something that WWE's been doing well recently, is the continuity element of it, and how certain events that happened 6 months, a year ago are affecting this character's decisions today. And I think you should be, all right, who are the 10 people I'm focusing on writing stories for? And you select who they are and you map out like, okay, where have they gone up to this point? Instead of like big show-esque heel baby face turns like Sammy Guevara's done in the last 3 years, or Miro's, Takeshita's, whatever, just disappearing as soon as they're like, you feel like there's steam being put behind them, and it's no story ever seems complete. You know, like it's okay. Takeshita beat Omega twice. What was the follow up to that? There was none. Like he got relegated to just backline of the Callis family with now Hobbs is in front, but Hobbs ain't doing shit either. Yeah. So it's the wrestling's great. Like they've got such a fantastic roster that, you know, put any combinations together, you're going to get good matches, you know, but it's the other stuff where people are starting to
drop off,
see the holes and be like, well, fuck this. Cause as soon as I like someone, they disappear for months.
Yeah. It's bizarre. Again, not how I envisioned the story of Takeshita and his last year. It's totally the Garcia thing again.
Yeah.
You had this hot breakthrough character that you just instantly like relegate to being someone's bitch and not talking and not being in tournaments and focused on TV. Is just so backwards. So I don't really know where you go with that. As soon as Ospreay comes into AEW, he is not going to be partnered with them. I am definitely sure of that. Like he'll just have his own United Empire or something.
I hope
like
not, but who fucking knows?
Like Ospreay doesn't need a talker from watching him talk since being.
He shouldn't have been a babyface going into Wembley. He shouldn't have been there. Like to turn Jericho babyface like 2 weeks before Wembley to be the babyface against a heel Ospreay made zero sense.
Yeah, it didn't make sense.
Just have Jericho still as the dick.
Yeah.
And Ospreay as the I'm coming in as the.
But Don had to be the link there. It's like what?
Bizarre.
Yeah.
yeah, like this was fine. I still get a kick out of seeing Sting wrestle.
Sure,
You
of
know,
course.
I want them to heat up this retirement tour
What's his
now.
match? What's the match?
I think it's got to be Davie.
Yeah.
And I think it should close the show, be super emotional. Sorry, I love you. Coffin drop with thumbtacks on fire.
Yeah.
Something like, you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
like, but yeah, I think the Sting retirement tour is definitely a thing that they've got in their pocket.
When is that pay-per-view?
March.
That's the next.
March.
That's the next pay-per-view, right?
Next one announced. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Wow. So maybe we get Darby. That makes the most
Darby,
sense.
it's either going to be Darby singles or they go for the tag titles and like to win and vacate it or something like that. Which
okay.
I feel I think Sting is capable
of
putting together a singles match with Darby. Like the stuff he does.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I think he's fully able to do it. But
it's fucking Goldberg.
For reasons, Goldberg's going to TNA.
He's the big signing there. So. Yeah.
He was shitting on Vince
a lot
this week. So yeah,
you'd hope maybe he's in the crowd for Sting. Like put some WCW people in the crowd for Sting's retirement.
What like Hugh Morris and stuff in a box? WrestleMania 17.
Yeah, the WCW.
Shane McMahon brings him out. I mean, he ain't the devil.
No.
But yeah, but again here, Sammy Guevara getting the pin.
Ricky?
On Ricky.
So Jericho and Sammy are going to face them for the title.
I guess so, yeah. But you should have had Sting pin him.
I didn't understand.
Sting and Darby against Bill and Rick.
Yeah. Poor Sting.
Yeah, match there was no stakes. It was thrown together. Whatever.
Next match, I'll be honest, also skipped this one. I only had so much time to watch the show today. And as soon as they said the stipulation of this match is biting is legal, and I went, sorry, who's this again? Oh, yeah. Right. Sorry, no offense, but I didn't have time.
Positives of the match. I like Julia Hart singing her theme song.
That is also
a good
great.
theme.
Yeah, that is good.
And then we had the TNT title match.
Nice. Okay, so
Abaddon needs to get off TV.
Right.
She's fucking terrible.
Okay.
Terrible. This is spooky was a chant that broke out during this. That was pretty fun. I think you saw Julia try not to crack a smile.
Yeah.
Whatever.
How many spooky people are there in this?
Too many spooky
show.
Spooky dookie.
Yeah. Sky. I like Black Heart is the name of their team. I guess Guy and Julie.
Black and Blue. Yeah.
Dark Blue.
House of Blue. Yeah.
Black and Blue.
Yeah. I'd like a serious both women's title and TBS. Yeah. Sorry. TBS title. I'd like a bit more of a serious feud that maybe runs more than one match. Everything seems to be flavor of the month. All right, let's get out Rio for world title and Abaddon for this. Next time we'll get out Willow. And Willow Nyla can Rose. Go for the world and Nyla go for this. And it's just they have the match, like the champ wins, you move on. And I think I'd like to try and get a bit more of a personal story going.
I guess that's
something that you can have, like we've seen with a lot of these. Do a big Dynamite title match with a rematch on the pay-per-view or whatever. And I guess they could be building with
Sky would be the one to finally take it from her, right? I assume. But not interested in this division. And Abaddon is someone who's not even really been focused, and all of a sudden she just put on a pay-per-view. I felt like Gold Dust again. It's like, wait, why? What is this? I don't even watch you on Collision, so why am I paying to watch you?
You've got to watch Collision.
Yeah, I guess. Was there one tonight?
No.
I mean, because they what do? They just tell the network, actually, we have a pay-per-view tonight. It's like, I guess you can't bump it to make it like Sunday Night Heat Collision, the pre-show. Would be the smart thing to do. But yeah, next match, TNT title, no disqualification. Adam Copeland, the Cope, taking on Christian the Cage, with Shayna Wayne and Nick Wayne.
You knew where this was going as soon as Adam Copeland came out in his gear.
I knew right away. I have the figure of this specific gear as well. It's his WrestleMania 22 gear against Mick Foley. So you knew where this was going to go with that outfit on. Fire.
I actually really enjoyed this.
Me too.
I think this felt like it actually felt very like a New Japan structure. where they've changed it a bit more in recent years. But I'm thinking those Wrestle Kingdoms always you start off with your multi-person tag matches and a few of your junior heavyweight matches, and then it's like you finally get your big IC title match and your world title match, and it's like back-ended.
Yeah.
And that's definitely how this show felt. It felt like all the first couple of hours could have been on Dynamite. There was some good stuff there, like some good wrestling. But now it was like, all right, now we're at the meat and gravy of this. And
I these two Toronto boys, love these two. Finally get to see them. The Montreal Dynamite didn't live up because obviously it was setting up for this match and the turn and everything like that. So I totally understand that and knew it was going to set up for this match. And I loved the back and forth between the two of them. Some creative stuff. The fire table going out.
I was getting so nervous with that. But like, good. They had so many cans of that stuff in case. So they were prepared. Like,
and then he didn't even really go through it. He just kind of like bounced off of it, which is, he was selling like he died regardless. So good for Nick Wayne, and who I think has been great in this role. Too. So this was all great until after the match. I was watching this earlier today with my girlfriend. And she was in the room, and she was, as soon as the match ended, she was like, "Hey, that was pretty like good." She's like half watching, playing the Switch or whatever. And then the aftermath happened, and she's like, "Sorry, that's dumb." And I went, "Yeah, I did not like it. I knew exactly where they were going with it when they announced anytime, anywhere the TNT title match can happen." I was like, well, they wouldn't do that to Christian. It's got to be if Edge won it, and if Killswitch is winning it, he could just give it to Christian. And that's what they did here.
I was fine with it. Like, I do not need to see Edge holding the TNT title. I think there's way more to do with Christian having this thing. And I think you serve both masters. You get Edge, get his
he gets
comeuppance over him, beats the shit out of him, wins,
and still gets screwed. It's all. So I'll look at this glass half full, because it's going exactly where I said it needs to go. The crowd were chanting it. Yeah, TLC. At the next pay-per-view, one-on-one TLC match between these two. Yes, you have my attention. I saw what they could do. They did what they did in this match, leaving enough out there to make you want to see them have that TLC match. So.
I don't know if I want to wait till March. That's the one thing.
Oh, right.
You could do a big Dynamite, this match on, maybe.
Sure. Wow.
But
wait, when are they in Toronto?
It's
March. It's end of March.
It's after the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought the match was good. Like, I have seen groans about the swerve at the end. I really didn't mind it, because I was going, what do you do with Adam Copeland as TNT champion? Yeah. Like, it just doesn't really feel like he needs it. Whereas I think Christian's doing such great work with it. So I didn't mind it. But yeah, and you can then have that definitive TLC.
You need that match between the two of them. As I'll say it again, huge fan of these two ever since. Like, some of the reason I love wrestling is TLC. All these people chanting that. Yeah, these two created some of the best stuff in wrestling. They've helped inspire so many young people and wrestlers and stuff. And they're from Toronto. I've watched them wrestle a million times. To see them one more time have a ladder match together. They're old, so jumping off ladders and falling, I'm scared. So wear protection.
They're both delivering though, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. So I'm like, I hope you're wearing some padding in your things, because getting thrown off at the age of 50 and older is not normal. So they're in fantastic shape. Both of them look jacked.
Yeah,
they look pretty yoked for being up there. So bless them. And I legit didn't like the swerve, but it made sense to go to that next match. So I totally understand it. It got the heat back on Christian right away.
I think maybe this, there's a way, whereas the Money in the Bank is very established.
Yeah.
Whereas this, it just, we're just going to do it for the sake of this. Maybe if you had it months ago, this thing that he's had this contract.
Exactly.
Something, it was just giving it away quite a bit. But.
So Toronto show is March 20th. So I'm sure they'll do something there. But yeah, the Revolution pay-per-view is March 3rd. So will we wait all the way till then? That's a long time.
It is a long time, yeah.
But I do suspect we see some sort of Full Metal Mayhem or whatever the hell they call it. Ladder match, really. Yeah. You know what? I was really let down, though. When they first broke up, E&C, they feuded when they were brothers, They had a ladder match. I think it was No Mercy. It was just okay. Yeah. It was one of my I knew you guys were gonna kill it, and you kind of just didn't. So I need that back, and I know maybe they think the same thing. We're gonna get it. Hopefully it delivers. So Christian is now the TNT title holder again, which makes sense.
And they're building to that, kill switch going back to Luchasaurus, and eventually, I think Christian whispered, "Remember what happened to Marco. Again?"
Remember Marco, and he's like, "Fuck, okay, yeah, he doesn't have a job, does he?" Where is Marco? What the fuck's he doing?
Singing somewhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was like on The Voice or something. Yeah. Sick. We go to our next.
Jack Perry got suspended. Like, stay under my wing, Like, it's.
Look what happened.
Look what happens when you leave me.
Yeah, true. And like, yeah. Nick Wayne's mom is funny. It's like clearly someone who's never like done this kind of stuff before, and she's being thrown into it. It's funny to watch. I think Nick Wayne is hilarious. He could be a big star down the line. Well, he's like 18, 19.
Yeah, I think.
It's crazy, man. We go to our next match, the championship final of the Continental Classic for the inaugural American Triple Crown Championship, which is the ROH title, the never open weight title, strong,
the New Japan strong, never open weight,
and now the Continental Championship.
Yes.
Okay. Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley.
Yeah, this was my match of the show. I thought this was excellent. I think the last two Kingston matches in particular, like I maybe put the Danielson one a notch above this.
I think so too.
But I thought Mox and Eddie did such a great job on Wednesday of making me feel hyped for this match, bringing up all their previous history, the match they had at I can't remember which pay-per-view it was, but a couple of years ago. And I thought they both brought it in this one. Just a real like slogfest, brawl, strikes. Like I really liked it, and I thought it was a really good like feel good moment at the end with Mox completely leaning into the heel role during the match, but it's always like a big brother bullying his younger brother. Yeah. So like he earns his respect, and I think Danielson even on commentary was treading the line quite nicely of showing Eddie respect, but still being like, yeah, he's still
fucking
a
bum.
Yeah.
King of bums.
No, I thought this was great.
Yeah, I agree. It was probably my match of the night on this show. And it made the tournament for me, like I could see through the smoke and mirrors that it's basically the same matches we book all the time, but now we've made it into like the round robin style. And if it was all booked to like help get Eddie over and give him this like spot and push him, like all for it, because it does better for him than it would to your Swerve Danielson Mox, right?
Absolutely. And I think it has, as I mentioned in the like 8-man, I think it has done a job of elevating some other people and getting some other people exposure on TV a little bit more. I want to see where they go with it from now, like with this title. Like something, we've got a lot of titles now.
There's too many.
I want there to be some kind of differentiation between each thing. And
don't you dare say rounds matches.
No, but at least that is, at least that is something. Like having, otherwise, like what is the difference between these titles? I know a lot of people back in the day were shitting on the rankings thing, but I'm kind of for that. Like if we want to go back to a bit more of a sports-based presentation and trying to be different from WWE, have maybe rankings and divisions. You can break out of your international title division to move into the TNT title division or something like that. But to just have singles matches for all these without any weight limits or anything, it's like, okay, well, we've just got 4 titles. So is this one like, do you send Eddie on the road? This is a title now, which I think the international title was originally kind of going to be.
Yeah.
But have him defend this at ROH, have him defend this at New Japan, you could loan it out to New Japan for 6 months. You could have a wrestler there win it and keep it over there for a bit, because you don't need it in AEW all the time. Like, I just want to, what is the difference between these titles?
Yeah. Especially, so this eats up the Ring of Honor title. The Ring of Honor title is no more.
Yeah.
So that tells me, why should I care about a show that doesn't even have a champion? So are they going to do this to all the titles and get rid of the show? Like,
or it's essentially their new championship. Is it that's what I want to know. Is it just going to be, is it going to be Eddie in just in singles matches on Dynamite and Collision every week, defending this like any other title. Do keep it. I mean, this didn't have a time limit, but keep elements of the round robin. So this title is defended 20-minute matches, like no interference, no one at ringside. You kind of keep those elements of it. So it is not with the rope breaks and stuff, but essentially their pure title. Yeah. This is their wrestling title. This is our no bullshit title. You're not going to get screwy finishes or anything with this.
I don't know. I don't like the idea of this like, I like the idea of the tournament, and I think you were right. Like the winner should have it should be later in the year, and the winner gets the all-in spot, like your WrestleMania main event slot. That's nothing is bigger than that. And creating a title that sounds oddly close to the Intercontinental title and the international title.
Can someone tell all these like wrestling bookers? Another word for world is global. Another word for world is intercontinental.
Yeah.
Another word for world is international. They all mean the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
At least WWE went, what's bigger than world? The fucking universe. Like it's all the same bullshit.
Yeah. I'm definitely nitpicking, but like I don't understand all these titles, and now there's 3 titles are into one title, and now Eddie's this triple crown. Like I get it. You're a fan of All Japan, and let's do a triple crown thing with Eddie. He's a big fan. He's wearing the Kawada kick pads and everything. Cool. I get it. But like, really, what does this now do? Because what the hell is Orange Cassidy then? What the hell is the world title? What the hell is this title? It muddies everything. And for those who have seen the Iron Claw, it makes the best sense. If you've ever wanted to understand what the fuck does a title even actually mean? Nothing. It is a fucking prop. Watch the Iron Claw. Zac Efron explains it in about 2 minutes. When he's on the date, she goes, "Well, why do you want to be champion?" He explains what it actually means.
It means you've been good at what you've done. So
not everyone can get a promotion.
I would say have.
Why is everyone a champion?
Keep it like. Make it more established that the like international championship is a championship that is defended weekly in open challenges. That's kind of what they've done with it anyway. Like Orange has defended it pretty much.
That's like every other fucking title they have.
No, but like clearly like define them a bit more.
Okay.
Have this one as this is 20-minute matches, no BS, and it can be defended in all 3 companies. So you can loan it out to a company for a few months. And then your TNT is like your secondary, and you got your world.
So New Japan just went, yeah, you guys can take our title.
They've got 16 titles.
Yeah, I'm just this doesn't help like the problems that they have. Just adding, let's just give Eddie a title now. It's like, well, there's already like 6 other ones, so like, doesn't matter. And it's not a way to get new fans and keep track of things. It just makes things like more confusing.
Well, I think new fans coming in are like,
wait,
so
what?
Who's the champion? The champion.
Who's the champion again? Wait, okay, cool. But wait, who's the women's champion? Oh, there's 2 of those 2. Okay, wait. Oh, but who's the tag team champions? Oh, you mean the 6-man tag team champions? No. I meant the ROH tag team champions. Oh, right. Okay. But what about the ROH 6-man?
It's just to like cover the fact that they can't come up with
ideas,
compelling stories that are not about titles that are about personal matters.
So like, love the match between Eddie and Mox and the whole story that he finally beat him. It's like what Kawada, Misawa, all that stuff. Cool. He beat Mox. Just the way it's like being kind of the smoke and mirrors of, and it's a new title. And it's like, okay, well, what does that really like? If it was, hey, Eddie gets a shot at the next pay-per-view for a world title match, that'd be a bit better and a bit cooler. And will Eddie walk around with all 3 titles like Roman Reigns for a little bit?
Yeah, maybe.
Or he just comes out with the new one.
It's a lot to carry around.
The new one looks
really nice. All their titles look nice.
I couldn't tell you the other one apart though. If you put them into side, I'd be like, fuck, is that the same title? Because
big and shiny.
There's some pictures floating around today of what Joe's title now is, which is also a changed edition of the AEW title.
Because not with the Burberry, right?
But like, it looks like they made the AEW logo a little smaller. I don't know if that's legit or not. I mean, he hasn't come out on TV yet, so with the title, so hopefully they don't change that one. But yeah, too many titles going on in AEW. But I did like that match. Our main event: Samoa Joe taking on MJF. I loved the intro video for MJF and his Long Island thing.
The scumbag.
The scumbag, the one lady being like, yeah, we, and bleep, bleep, bleep in his car till we bleep, bleep, bleep. The other guy's like, no, I'm not saying that. And then he gets beat up and he's like, yes, he is my scumbag. I thought that was very funny. And Samoa Joe didn't care about Long Island because he beat MJF. That muscle buster on the apron looked fucked. Oh man. Pretty good match. Didn't get to maybe the level, didn't maybe even get to the level of their last encounter for me. Obviously, if MJF is working injured, that sucks and definitely can. I could be wrong, but I don't think he could raise his arm. Every time he was wrestling, he was going like this, lifting his other arm to do moves. And I'm like, either you're really good at acting or like you should not be wrestling.
Well, he legit tore his rotator cuff.
But did you notice that? Anytime, like the kangaroo kick, he lifts his arms up. He was going lift and then posing and then he could put the arm down. I'm like, whoa, man, like that's scary.
I thought it was a solid match. I think these two do have pretty good chemistry. It's I found some of MJF's matches, and I'm a big MJF fan, but a little bit repetitive with the fighting through the injury. And okay, this might be a bit more legit than some of the things he's been selling in the previous ones, but it's like, okay, I've kind of seen this before, and in a way it's distracting from the match a bit too much for me. I thought the finish worked with, Adam Cole doing the best man at a wedding looking for the ring, which caused it to take too long and Joe to lock in the coquina clutch, which led to the finish. I thought that was good. And I found the third arm falling on his knee, so it didn't fall like all the way down. And Bryce was like confused, like, oh, is that... I guess he's out. Yeah.
It was abrupt.
It became like this abrupt sort of delayed reaction thing, which isn't always a bad thing. I sometimes like the confusion at the end of the match. I overall liked it. I think this MJF run has had a lot of criticism from people. I'm not as down on it as others, but I do think there's I kind of want to see MJF move away from so much like smoke and mirrors in his matches now. Because I think he's a tremendous wrestler.
Yeah,
I mean, going back to that match he had with Davie, that was my match of the year, 2 years ago or whatever. Like, he's such a good in-ring wrestler, and both matches with Adam Cole, the first time round, fell into way too much shenanigans. Same with the Jay White stuff, and I just hope now he's titleless, we can just get some like solid wrestling again.
Yeah, I mean, he put out that whole AEW statement thing like a few days ago, kind of saying like, hey, I'm injured in this and this and this and that. It was an interesting read, and you feel for the guy. Like, as soon as you're hot, and it's like all you got to do is go down, and it's like everyone just all of a sudden kind of like lost interest. I don't know what it really is. He said it in that thing himself. I read it, and he's like, oh, is it fatigue? I don't know what it is, but like, if he's hurt, it's a great time to go rehab and come back.
People just haven't been invested in the stories, I think. And I think the delay on the Adam Cole injury obviously shook things up a bit.
Imagine he didn't just jump off that ramp. Where would we be? AEW would be flourishing. Be a world's...
I don't know if it would be much. They might have got round to revealing the devil a bit before
hold on.
this,
Hold on. Okay. What if Adam Cole never jumped off that thing? What if Hangman never said that thing to CM Punk? There's a huge what ifs in AEW of the dominoes falling. But no, okay. So the match itself was okay. It wasn't bad by any means, but I will say some pluses. Big fan of Samoa Joe becoming a fucking world champion from being commentary in a poncho in the fucking rain to main eventing and winning a world title. Finally.
I don't think it's going to be a long run. No, I think it's going to be a bit more transitional, but we kind of called this. We thought it made the most sense, Joe, to win it at this point.
Really happy for him.
Yeah, really happy for him. Because he's won a title in every company he's been in now.
Well, he's never won WWE title.
NXT.
He was NXT. Yeah, he was NXT champion, Ring of Honor, TNA.
Only 3-time champion.
Is he 3-time or 2-time? Oh, 3-time because right.
Cross.
Yeah, never forget. I try to forget.
This
This is so cool. Like, yeah, it was weird. The whole audience fell flat for a sec with the finish because it's like, wait, what? That's it?
Yeah.
He didn't get out. And Adam Cole's reaction, like, shit, the ring. I didn't give him the ring, right? So it's like, okay. So I did like that because it was like, again, kind of jarring. Like, whoa. I looked down for a second. What's Bryce doing? What's going on here? And called it. But I'm as someone who's followed Samoa Joe for fucking way too long. Like, yeah, I'm finally like, you should, man. You're fucking awesome. And then another plus is the clip of him at the presser afterwards, where he's like, seems like everyone likes to start fights around here, but no one ever starts fights with me. So like now I'm champion. Maybe bring it. Show me what you got. And called out like a bunch of people, Swerve, Hangman. So right away it sets him up for like some feuds and stuff. So I'm very happy for Samoa Joe getting some gold. But then it goes into the devil reveal. Yeah. As soon as Adam Cole is out there for MJF, you're like, oh, that's the direction they're going. Of course, it was fucking Wardlow and Kingdom and their big heads in those masks.
Yeah, I kind of just felt like, sure, okay. Yeah. Like that, it makes the most sense. It's you guys. It's not any particular big reveal, but
you know it's supposed to be Cole winning the title from him.
Yeah, like part of me was hoping that
it was Shane McMahon.
No, like part of me was hoping that Kyle was fit and would be instead of Wardlow, and then you've got like the Undisputed Kingdom is these guys, you know.
Okay,
but like O'Reilly, like he's been out a long time, which is kind of a worry. But like, yeah, it makes sense. I think you should, because I assume Adam Cole's not fit yet. It wasn't like he revealed himself and was hopping around on his leg. He's still limping. So we ain't getting that match soon. So write off MJF for a bit. You know, if he's legit, he's been nursing this injury anyway. He's just been defeated. People have been souring on him a little bit. It's the perfect time to take him off TV for a couple of months. You can have Adam Cole being a mouthpiece for these guys or whatever while they're running roughshod, and then Max will come back and everyone will be happy to see him again, and Cole will be ready at that point. Yeah, I think. So,
yeah. The end game of finally getting Cole versus MJF will eventually happen, and that will be good. But unfortunately, we do have to wait quite a while to get there.
But it reminds me of like the Ciampa Gargano thing in NXT, where Ciampa took him out, but then was injured like immediately, and you had to wait like 8 months before you got back to it. And it's kind of doing that. And I kind of felt just relieved at the end of it. It's like,
over.
Cool, we've got it. We know who it is. We can move on. We can take a break from that for a little bit. We can focus on Joe. We can focus on Swerve. And like, I'm optimistic for the new year, even though this wasn't the best pay-per-view. Yeah. It's like, we're through it. They finished telling
the world didn't end.
Yeah, they finished telling that devil story now, and we're through it, and we're out the other end, and hopefully things can get a bit better.
Yeah, I agree. Like have them on TV. Being Ring of Honor tag champions is kind of weird, but whatever. Have Adam Cole be the mouthpiece for these guys. Don't know really what they go next, what their MO would be, because it's like we helped Joe, but like why? I guess is the story going in. It's like all the people Max doesn't. They don't like Max. It was probably supposed to be the rematch for this pay-per-view, Cole and MJF, and the reveal comes with where he turns on him to get the title from him.
I think you can very quickly turn Joe back to babyface, or like a kind of tweener. Yeah. Like, just have that moment with Cole, like, did business, doesn't mean we're friends, and I don't want anything to do with you anymore, and just move on and like have his run, Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's Matt Taven, Bennett, and Wardlow, and Roddy. Those are the guys. So lipstick on a pig kind of thing. It's like, oh, cool, you're the devil guys. We kind of knew you were the guys in the costumes because you wear the same outfits.
It does make most sense, though. Really,
it does.
Like,
but it's like, all right.
Wardlow has beef with him. Roddy has beef with him. Kingdom's friends with him. It's like whatever.
Yeah. All right. So I mean, it could have been worse. Could have been Jack Perry.
I'd say for me, this was like a
episode of Collision.
It was weak for a AEW pay-per-view. I wouldn't go as far to say it was bad. I think it was bad compared to their like standards, but I still enjoyed it. Nothing particularly offended me. It wasn't like I was screaming, going like, why the fuck did you do that or anything? Just the wrestling was okay throughout the show. The storylines were okay. I really did enjoy the Eddie Mox match. I enjoyed the Edge and Christian match and somewhat the main event. So it was like a 5 out of 10 for me, I'd say.
Yeah, it was on the lower scale of AEW pay-per-views for me. You know what? I don't think they needed this pay-per-view. The Devil story just wasn't hitting. It had disinterested a lot of people. To finally get over it makes me more interested to see where we go in the next little while. But having a pay-per-view the day before New Year's, cool. But it's like there is a lot of things going on in people's worlds. Wrestling, it wasn't necessarily on the top end for me this weekend. And then finally watching it was like, like that felt like a Dynamite to me. Like there was some good wrestling and that was it, but nothing that I'm like, holy shit, I can't believe. Good thing we waited to do our list because we had to get that 8-man tag in or whatever. So still enjoyed it, still wrestling, love wrestling, but it didn't get anywhere like best of the year or anything, and probably won't really want to watch anything back from this. But it does set up some things for the future. Like I said, the Adam Copeland Christian Cage feud, that's going to continue on, which is good. Edge has got to find some friends. He's got FTR, I guess. Maybe he'll team with them.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Like he needs people to help him because Christian's just adopting everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. FTR aren't doing much. Do that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like, I hope they right some wrongs in AEW in the new year.
Fuck it. Turn Edge heel now.
Not now. He will be a great heel in like a year.
Like,
right
I
now,
think,
no.
like, okay, maybe get through that TLC match and then you can have him. Well, if I can't beat him, join him. And you can get Edge and Christian as heels against FTR. There we go.
There was a moment in the match. It looked like Christian pretended to do the 5-second pose, which got a chuckle out of me. So, yeah, I just want to see these guys fight in a ladder match. Yeah. That's it. You'll make me happy, Tony, if you just book that match, which I think you're going to do. But, yeah, going forward in the future, I think AEW might have to fix some things, but they could be doing that. And look at the roster of talents that they got. Like, I'm sure they'll pick it back up. So have no fear. They'll step it up, I think. So there you go. We were kind of on the same page of being in the middle on that show. You mentioned someone gone from WWE, someone cut from WWE. Who was it again?
Kevin Dunn.
Oh, yeah. That's right. So how many? He's been there for a long time.
30 years or something, yeah.
So what? Did they let him go or did he leave?
I don't know.
They're like,
I literally read it like doing this show. I hadn't, as I said, I've been staying off kind of social media.
Yeah.
It says I think he resigned.
Wow.
But maybe, like people saying, maybe resigned before being fired.
Hell has legit frozen over.
But yeah, that's good. Wonder if we'll see any kind of production changes and things moving forward.
Less camera cuts.
Less camera cuts would be cool.
Like there's a reason for the camera cuts because it's fake and you're trying to make it look real and stuff. But like, dude, he does like 13 in someone's entrance.
Yeah.
It's like and cut. So maybe things will change. But like he had a big part of like how things were on TV for 30 years. That's a long time. So we'll see what some changes come. But Triple H just really shaking things up. He's like, I'm gonna make wrestling good.
Is Borash gonna step up to the plate?
Borash, he's done some good stuff. Boneyard match. I don't know if everything needs to be filmed like Ultimate Deletion, but yeah, more camera cuts.
Yeah,
it's probably where it's gonna be. We'll see him leave WWE. Will we see someone join WWE?
Yeah, rumors of a former world champion, was it?
Triple H confirming the rumors. I love how Triple H now...
No, confirming or not confirming or denying.
He's like, hey, there's a lot going on, but a former WWE champion will be on day 1 episode of Raw this week. So is it Goldberg? You think Goldberg's going to TNA?
Yeah.
Is it... What the fuck is Goldberg gonna do in TNA? Fight Eddie Edwards' wife? Who's he gonna spear that anyone next to him is gonna look so small?
He just wants a retirement tour. That's all he
wants.
What's
his retirement match? Like
I don't know. Okada.
In TNA. Yeah, fuck. Yeah, I guess so. Wow. Yeah.
Speedball.
Man, I love these guys. Like certain wrestlers are great, but like fucking really, like there's no way that I don't know. Is Sasha Banks returning to WWE, because as soon as you
she tweeted put an Instagram post of her like in front of a picture of Triple H.
She was posting she was in Boston this week where they were, and she was like, oh,
I'd be happy with it being Sasha. And announces herself the Rumble.
You think she just comes out on Raw? Oh, okay.
Wait, what?
No, I'm like, yeah. Part of me thinks like as soon as people were like, nah, it can't be her. It's like, well, maybe that's to like deter and have her like she's got to be showing up somewhere soon because like she's not been really doing shit. So hopefully we see her on TV.
Who else? Former world champion, Vince McMahon.
That'd be sick. Yeah, I don't know. Well, we didn't get Shane as the devil on AEW World's End, and that was pretty much a bummer. So maybe we see him in TNA as well.
Big Easy ready to come back? I don't know what you would even do right now, but yeah, we'll see. This week WWE they're smart. Triple H is wising up. He's calling them like these specials, right? How many times did we say when we were watching NXT and they did like their branded NXT shows like Halloween Havoc and all that sort of stuff?
New Year's Evil.
We were like, why don't they do this on main roster? Let's build up to a big TV show. Yeah. Stack it.
AEW does it.
Give it a name. Yeah, I think it's such a good idea.
So this week, day 1 for Raw, New Year's Evil for NXT, and New Year's Revolution for SmackDown.
SmackDown, yeah.
Like that's pretty good. Like it instantly gets people being like, okay, what do they got going on that?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna be. We're going to this wedding tonight. It's New Year's. I'm unfortunately working in the morning, and I'm just looking forward to coming home, putting on my PJs, watching day 1. Will be nice.
Excellent. Yeah. So that's what's going on in the world of wrestling. We went through the whole pay-per-view. We will be back on Tuesday talking about New Year's Evil. I can't even remember what's on the show. I haven't watched NXT from this week actually yet. So
I did, and that's why I brought up the Elektra Lopez thing because she interacted with LWO.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, I might check it out. I might put it on tomorrow during the day.
That was all right.
Yeah. So yeah, anything else? I would say I really did love Danielson Kingston from Dynamite. That was my match this week. Better than anything on the table.
So yeah, we'll talk off air. I'm about to post the top 30 matches, and I'm debating whether that one makes the list or not.
Throw me a few out there.
What about like? There's the obvious ones, but shall I throw maybe some
like
that you've forgotten about?
Yeah.
The Texas Death Moxley versus Hangman from early in the year, which was excellent,
so good.
And kind of that was back in March. Vikingo versus Kenny from Dynamite. Charlotte Rhea Ripley at Mania. What else have we got? The FTR Jay White and Juice Robinson match.
Oh yeah,
was good. Becky and Trish in the cage was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Moxley Orange Cassidy for my birthday. The strap match between Bryan and Starks from that same show. Chad Gable Gunther from Raw. Becky versus Tiffany Stratton is on there. Danielson, Zack Sabre Jr. from.
Oh man, that match was incredible.
Excellent. I need to rewatch
that one. Is definitely getting high up on my list. I'm pretty sure I have my top few in my mind, but man, that one, Zack Sabre Jr. Danielson was incredible.
They're all the ones that kind of like I'd sort of like not forgotten about, but like, oh yeah, that was really good. Like some that were earlier in the year. Obviously, there's the 2 Kenny Ospreay matches. There's the Gunther Sheamus Drew 3-way from Mania. There's the Usos Owens and Sammy from Mania. There's Carmelo Ilya Dragunov from NXT. That's in there. There's a couple from I've got the Nakajima Miyahara match from Noah, was highly rated this year, and the Julia Tam Nakano. There's a bunch, but we'll go through it before posting. But yeah, it's that Danielson Eddie match. I'm like, do I slip that one in?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
4.75 from Dave.
Okay, nice. Yeah, it was really good. There was a lot of good wrestling this year, and I can't wait to kind of dissect it. And would love anyone's picks. Obviously, join in here, join that Facebook page, and help us. Did you already? You're about to.
I'm about to post it. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so yeah, join in there and join us next Sunday for part 1 of Best Match Ever live here on this YouTube. I think 2 p.m.
We're gonna be able to watch them all.
Yeah, I think so. We could just say 3 to like
3
give us
to
some
give
time.
us a window. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. That's how we operate here. We're
our
own
both
bosses.
on nights, aren't we? So.
Oh yeah. So 3 p.m. Sunday, we'll chat all about. We'll probably give some thoughts on Wrestle Kingdom as well, since it had been.
Fuck, that's this week as well.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man. No,
Actually, I'm not watching it this year.
No wrestling
I'm watching
like it.
one match from that show.
I at first I was organizing a bit of a like live watch party. We even had someone offer a spot for us to watch and everything, and I realized I'm working, so I'm like, well, actually, I'm not gonna do it. So.
It looks terrible. I'm
great.
gonna be honest. Like, I have zero interest in this show.
Just like, who the fuck is David Finlay? Like, why is he in this match? Sorry, I hope he like fucking stuns me, and he's amazing. But like, I've seen him wrestle already. I'm like,
he's fine. He can wrestle. That's about it.
Yeah,
a lot of people can these days.
I think obviously Kenny not being there, they had some plans and something fell apart, so they quickly like detoured. But you know what? I'm still gonna check it out because I always do. It is a bit of a nice little tradition I have for my like. It's always like, oh man, the fucking WrestleMania over in Japan. It's fucking amazing to see. But this year there are some things that I question. Like, wait, did you book that? Why is Shingo? Okay, never mind. Anyways, Sonata's in the main event. That's all you need to know.
It's WrestleMania 29.
Yeah, there's gonna be one match.
Rematches and one match that'll be really good.
Yeah, what's the one match that I'm looking forward to? I can't even remember now.
Okada Danielson.
Oh, right.
Which is also a rematch. But.
Yeah. Which we saw live. So it's like, all right, cool. Yeah, I am looking forward to it. We'll chat about that on Sunday, 3 p.m. Join us here live on the YouTube. Audio will be up later on this very feed. If you're listening to us on the podcast, we just put out a What Up Doe. The boys do give like preview and predictions for World's End. It's a little dated now, but they do talk about some other stuff as well as some movies they've watched in 2023, some video games, and Power Washer Simulator, which is very hilarious. So check out that show. Check out the Detox I dropped. Check out our Christmas show that we put out on our YouTube. That was a whole ton of fun. Shout out everyone who joined in on that, and check out all the other podcasts that we got going on because we have so much. But yeah, we're back Tuesday night. We're back next Sunday. Lots and lots of shows at Poisonrana Pod, Twitter, Instagram, and myself, Braden Herrington. You can find me at the Bray D.
And you can find me at Davie Portman.
That's it. That's all. Take care. Goodbye. Be safe, and long live the devil.
Ahoy!
Poisonrana.